morning. Today we are talking about tech innovation for customer experience inclusion. Is the market design ready? Why are we talking about this topic? Why should we talk about this topic? And not just today, but every single day. It is because of the importance and the weight that this topic carries. We are talking about tech innovation. Nothing can exist without tech. It is said that tech is an enabler for business. We say tech is the business. Because even if you have a small business, a startup business, a business at home, you must have some level of tech to communicate to get it running. Why are we talking about customer inclusion? Because customer experience excellence is everything. We must include customers. We must partner with customers. We must have customers at the center. It is said that customers are the driver of business. But COVID has taught us that customers are the business. So if tech is the business and customers are the business, that's a marriage. It's a great marriage. We must marry tech and customers. Tech inclusion, customer inclusion, tech innovation, innovation for customer inclusion. That's why we are talking about it today. And this is a marriage that's sustainable. We don't see divorce coming. It's growing from strength to strength to strength. So let's dive into this and let's talk about tech innovation for customer experience inclusion and whether the market is design ready. And we'll walk down 3 paths. Just like every wise person says, there's 3 paths to freedom, there's 3 paths to liberation, there's 3 paths to salvation. Let's go down 3 paths this morning. And path number 1 is voice of the customer. Are we listening to the voice of the customer? Are we designing with customers at the center? Is tech taking into consideration what customers are saying? In customer experience excellence, we say that voice of the customer is bottom of the pyramid. You know Maslow's hierarchy of needs? The customer experience hierarchy of needs, voice of the customer is at the bottom. And at the top is customer obsession. So without voice of the customer, we shouldn't build anything. We shouldn't implement anything. We shouldn't do anything unless we've listened to the voice of the customer. Often in tech, we talk about user experience. Users are good. They're internal customers. But what about the actual customer? We shouldn't build anything unless the customer is right at the center. We talk about tech for efficiencies, for convenience, for risk management, for access. But what about the customer themselves? Often we ignore that. We misplace that. Like, for example, many front offices, it's tech enabled. But when you go there, you're told, okay, pay here. Okay, take your receipt here. Okay, go to this counter. So we are sending customers around like they're errands people. It's tech enabled, all right, it's digitized, but the customer is running around. That is not customer friendly. We need to have the voice of the customer at the center. A simpler example is, for example, let me think. Last week, we were having lunch with a group of friends at a cafe, coffee shop actually. Great customer experience. The wait staff is there. She's serving us well. She knows her product. Great experience we had. And then she came and said, oh, excuse me, in a very nice voice, I'm clocking off shift. Would you kindly pay your bill so that I can be able to leave and the new wait staff will take over? Very polite. And we asked ourselves, okay, what is this? What kind of billing solution is this that doesn't take into consideration the customer? Because when you're asked to pay, it causes you to shut down. It causes you to stop enjoying your meal. Maybe we would have stayed a little longer. Maybe we would have had dessert. Maybe we would have had coffees. Maybe we would have had a better experience. So we paid indeed, and we left. And I thought that billing solution, it's tech enabled, but it's looking at internal efficiencies. So when we are cooking tech solutions, tech innovations, without the ingredient of customer experience excellence in that kitchen, that solution should never leave. It shouldn't. So that's path number 1. So now let's walk down path number 2. Path number 2 is data, 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 and more data. And as tech people, we can't fail to underscore the importance of data. We talk about data all the time. Data is the new oil. Data is king. But in customer experience excellence, we say data is oxygen. We cannot move without data. We can't live without customer data. We'll be paralyzed without customer data. Without customer data, we are nothing. And so we must look at customer data. We must analyze it. We must see what it's telling us. What are these trends telling us? What are customers even not telling us? And then move from there. And with data, we look at this great report by Splunk that talks about dark data, and that 55% of organizational data is not looked at. It's dark data. Now imagine if the tech team and the customer experience team were hovering over this data, looking at it, asking, what can we do for the customer? How can we do this better? Because we've amassed data from customer profiling, we've amassed data from customer experiences, we've amassed data from customer interactions. Data is everywhere. Customer data is everywhere. We need to use it. We really do need to use it. And so therefore, in customer experience excellence, we say that we need to anticipate, meet, and exceed customer expectations. Customer data will allow us to anticipate, to predict, to foretell the future. Customer data will allow us to meet expectations. Customer data will allow us to exceed customer expectations, whereby we innovate even before the customer has thought about it. And the customer will say, oh, wow, I hadn't thought about that. Oh, wow, this brand is exceeding my expectations. We must have customer delight. And so therefore, path number 2 is data, data, customer data. So we've walked through path number 1, what are customers saying? We've walked through path number 2, what are customers not saying, but their data is saying. Now let's walk down path number 3. Path number 3 talks about customer experience architecture. What are we saying on behalf of our customers? As tech people, we are very well versed with enterprise architecture. We can't build anything. We can't procure a system. We can't implement. We can't develop. We can't design without the architecture in place. What's the blueprint? What's the design? What's happening in that space? Enterprise architecture is everything, but we need to go a step further and layer on customer experience architecture. For this enterprise architecture that we have built, where is the customer experience? We need to look at customer journeys, map the customer journey. We need to look at employee journeys, map the employee journey. We need to look at all the touch points. What are the standards at these touch points? How are customers feeling? For every touch point, we should ask, what's the customer feeling like here? What do the customer feel like here? We need to listen to their voice. We need to read through their data. We need to ask them. And we need to build those journey maps into that architecture. So that as we build with the customer in mind, the architecture, the design. We need to audit our processes, our systems, our procedures, our policies, our work instructions, and ask ourselves, is the customer at the center of this? So truly, really, any tech innovation must include the customer, must include customer experience excellence. The customer must be at the center. I put it to you that the tech team and the customer experience team should be in the same department. They should actually be led by the same person, so that there's a great harmony there, a great alignment there, and we get things going. So let's ask ourselves, are we design ready? Are we design ready? Is the market design ready? Who's the market? The market out here are people serving stakeholders, serving customers. The market is government. The market is non-government. The market is manufacturing. It's service industry, it's big corporates, it's small startups, it's Juakali, it's consultants, it's everybody. Are we ready? Have we looked at our tech? Have we looked at our customer experience excellence? Have we included all of these things? Are we ready? Are we ready? Is the customer at the center of all that we are doing? Is our design designed in that way? We need to ask that. I won't even get into talking about assistive technologies. That's a subject for another day that we must talk about. Inclusion. Have we stress tested to see a customer who can't see? Will they hack it in this space? A customer who can't hear, who can't walk without assistance, who's short, who's tall, all kinds of frames. Customers with different pockets, different cultures, different geographies, different ways of being. We'll talk about inclusion at another time, but yes, we must ask ourselves if we are ready. So nothing from tech innovation and nothing from customer experience excellence without the marriage of these two. So as we power into this season, let's ask ourselves, are we ready? Tech people, are we ready? Customer experience people, are we ready? Let's get together and respond to that. And as we respond to whether we are ready, I want to make a prediction for 2024 that tech is going to humanize customer experiences and stop being this hard thing. When we look at tech, we look at hard things. We don't look at soft things. We don't look at tech humanizing experiences. And so as we develop and as we get into tech implementation, procurement, development, building, rollout, whatever we are doing, it's going to be more human. Everybody is talking about AI. Everybody is talking about things going the hard route. As we go the hard route, let's make sure we put the customer at the center and humanize. It's going to become more humanized as we go along. So let's get out and let's do this.